Aloha, friends and neighbors. Roland Frost here, an astrologer eking out a living on the Kona coast of the Big Island. Lucky we live Hawaii. We're going to get into the first week of July 2014 in the sky mirror and see what's coming up for you. Take a particular look, I guess, at your 4th of July. Pretty active time. Wow. Hey, there's Mercury going direct on July 2nd. July 2nd, Mercury stops in the sky and goes forward. You won't have to keep doing things twice. In fact, for a while you do things that'll have amazing stability because Mercury's not going back there for a while. Think of him like the mailman, huh? So anything you want to do that's real permanent and send off once with the mailman, you wait till July 2nd. After that, every day is strong for, a good week. Anyway, Mercury, here we're talking about the 4th of July, and here on the 2nd of July, Mercury stops. Mercury's kids, you know. Yes. Hermes with the wings on his helmet and the wings on his feet. There he is. You know, and I was just noticing that I always go to the ephemeris first. My old ephemeris. Here on the 4th of July, Friday, moon's in Libra. And at midnight, or at 2 a.m. in the morning here, it's at 13.5 Libra, which is a trine over here to Venus. 13, 14 Gemini. So the pretty girls are out, and these are Gemini. They're all dressed up in Gemini clothes, very young. Young gals, you know, school girls. Mars is happy. And Mercury, most of all, there's a little D. Mercury is so strong. Friday, the moon in Libra for the 4th of July. Wow, let's check the sky mirror. See how it looks. I've drawn up the pattern of planets for you. Still got kind of a grand cross here, you know, and Mars is still opposing Uranus. And the trouble is that, you just had a turbulent month, a turbulent week, and you're halfway through the turbulent time because the sun sets off this whole thing from 12 to 16 to 20 degrees of the cardinal signs, and that's exactly where it's going now. 12, 16, 20. So you're starting tomorrow with the sun opposing Pluto. Don't tell me what to do. Territoriality. Power, control. Pluto, Pele, police, volcanoes. And then a square to Mars. Next the Uranus thing. The media not behaving well. And nobody's listening to environmentalists and rationality. There's a lack of common sense and rationality here. At 16 degrees. And then at 20 we all get angry. Ask yourself what you're protecting towards the end of your next week. Now, that's the pattern of the sun, yeah? And the men particularly kind of follow it. What we do every week with the sky mirror is we follow the moon around here. It goes all the way around in a month. And it kind of, as it makes angles to different planetary bodies, it gives us the mood of the times. So here's the moon moving through there, and here's your Friday, July 4th. Moon goes into Libra right away. These little lines here are 2 a.m. for Hawaii, so here midnight, moon's in Libra. As soon as it does, you start to feel some of the sweets and some of the tension too. It kind of a mixed bag. Here's problems with Pluto. This looks like around 9-10 o'clock Friday night in Hawaii. The square to Pluto comes up first at 12 degrees. Venus is hanging in there at 13, so, you know, just after that there'll be pretty girls talking the police out of their policing actions or something. and maybe that's just the smell of sulfur. That square to Pluto. Pluto is a sulfur smell like H2S, rotten eggs. And anyway, the feeling of aloneness comes up 3-4 in the morning, Saturday morning, with the opposition to Uranus at 16 degrees. And you know, that's when electrical things and batteries go bad, and you find yourself all alone. Eek! Well, Pluto is eek, a bug. Opposition to Uranus is eek, I'm different, I'm all alone. Finally, the Mars thing comes on here at 20 degrees. And that's right here Saturday on dinner time. Afternoon and evening, the moon goes by Mars. You'd see it up in the sky around 11, 12 o'clock. It'd probably quite a sight. Watch the setting sun over here where the sun sets. And there would be the red planet with the moon next to it. And sometimes you get a lot of energy from a moon Mars. Sometimes you get ticked off. Mars is a little frustrated, but he's a hero. He's a fireman. He's the EMT. You can count on him. Mercury's happy. The kids are happy still. And there's a north node. So the Mars guys are really giving us a lot of nurturing Saturday. Late Saturday night, here's midnight, almost 2 a.m. Sunday morning, the moon hits square to Jupiter, and we kind of overdo it all. Stayed up too late Saturday night, didn't you? Sunday morning, the moon's still in Libra. It's not bad. You can still feel the good and the bad. and the energy of that. Whoosh. Venus is and Mercury, though, see, they're in blue. And they're the ones that are having fun. It's the young girls and the young kids. Leave them alone. You don't have to be all macho and protective, territorial. And you know, what's that? Venus is beautiful stuff in the sky. Mercury, beautiful birds like. So hope this is not a, this is, the way to enjoy it's watch the big shows. Okay, Sunday in the afternoon, the moon's gone into Scorpio. The vibes change. There's a nice trine to Neptune here Sunday night. Good time for religious, artistic stuff. Good time to read Jesus. Let's see, we had our 6-degree Cancer new moon, so Neptune is a beautiful thing right now. And so Sunday night, reserve for your higher heart. Open up something with compassion. Hang out with some animals. Can't do anything more. Here's a trine to Pluto. Yeah, sextile to Pluto. Monday morning, discoveries happening. Here's a nice trine to the Sun. The afternoon of Monday, we got all our plans together in a conjunction to Saturn. As you leave work Monday and in the evening, here's the moon going by Saturn. Quite a dim planet compared to 3 days before with Mars, but Saturn will get you organized. It's trining the Sun here, sextiling Pluto. Doesn't give a hoot. There's a weird 150-degree angle to Uranus, the environment, the homeless. Here in Honolulu, geez, they're about to make a bunch of draconian laws to keep the homeless out of Waikiki and away from the tourists. Oh boy, Saturn sacrificing Uranus, huh? Trouble is, Saturn has a sextile to Pluto, and the police are going to go help Saturn do his nasty stuff. You'll see more about that July 7th. Moon stays in Scorpio, and there's some wisdom comes out of the whole thing in the middle of Tuesday with a nice trine to Jupiter. Aha, now I see it. Now I understand. The afternoons, the moon slips into Sagittarius here. And the vibes change again. And they start off being, the later you go into Tuesday, July 8th, the more confusing they are. And the morning of Wednesday, you may have some bad smells. There's a square to Neptune. And some confusion reigns. Snap out of it a little bit late Wednesday night. There's a nice trine to Uranus. Rationality takes a hold. But unfortunately, there's an opposition to Venus late Wednesday night. 11, 12 o'clock, and there's no sweets and no goodies. And the sex is uh-oh, Here's Mars, Thursday morning, feeling randy. He's, sextiling, the moon's sextiling Mars. Maybe you got a chance there. In other words, forget it Wednesday night and go for Thursday morning. Ha 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 ha. Well, here's a opposition to Mercury on the 10th, and the kids are a little loud, and we're having a little trouble getting around and communicating. The moon goes into Capricorn around dinner time, and the whole vibe changes. It starts off kind of seductive because here's, in Friday morning, here's the sextile to Neptune, who's very strong and active right now, but the moon's opposing that new moon point, and I don't know. Nevertheless, I go for it, if you have a chance to increase your telepathic ability and your imagination and your dream state, and a whole bunch of priest, artist, doctor, musician stuff. Do it Friday morning. Early morning walk. Discovery happens as the moon goes by Pluto here, and that's Pluto's 12 degrees. The afternoon of Friday the 11th, and you're going into a full moon time here at 20 degrees of Capricorn. The full moon happens about 2 a.m. Saturday morning, so from the time the moon hits Pluto, it's kind of eek, a bug, and there's roadblocks everywhere, and the police and the bugs and the panicky feeling kicks in the middle of Friday, even before lunch for some places, and you feel all alone and a little jittery and panicky on Friday the 11th. Well, it's normal. We're all feeling that way, all of us. A little bit of settling down here about 9-10 o'clock with a sextile to Saturn if you've got your act together and you're being responsible. Still doesn't seem to do that much good because Saturday morning here's that full moon. So the accident rate doubles, folks, on full moons, and I tell you, it's going to start here Friday morning. So spend the morning spiritually, but don't go drink a bunch, because you could be surprised here Friday midday and the rest of the evening and on into Saturday morning. And finally, here's a square to Mars Saturday, July 12th, and everybody's impatient and ticked off, and ask yourself what you're protecting. The opposition to Jupiter Saturday night around dinner time, too much of everything. And finally the moon moves into Aquarius, and the whole situation changes and mellows out. But that's not till Saturday night. Sunday, July 13th, a lot of brotherhood around. It's a nice sextile to Uranus here. The square is to Saturn, and we're all aware Sunday night of what those politicians have done to all those wonderful free spirits, Uranus here. So, what are those politicians doing, making laws like that against particular people? They should be ashamed. One day they'll be homeless and get, the cops will come by and roust them in the morning. You can't sleep there.